Nissan is back with the Juke, and this is an absolutely crazy design. And I think we have a rendering here from Carscoops, and I honestly think that this is very, very close to what the production version is going to look like, because we have a teaser image from Nissan, and it looks very close to what we have here. And it's based on this hyperpunk concept from Nissan, which was just nuts. But the proportions of this hyperpunk, we're going to have a look at all of these in a minute in Photoshop. Feels like it could be, Juke inspired. We have the regular Juke up top. Also going to show you a quick redesign that I did here of the Juke and let you know why I made these changes to it. Before I do that though, let's have a look at this article from Carscoops, see what this is all about. So Nissan's next Juke is so different you might not recognize it. I definitely would not recognize this as a Juke. Look at the headlight design here. What is going on? We have the main headlight unit down here. We have a daytime run light, almost like a cut in the hood up here. The 2026 Juke enters the electric era with a bold design that might scare your neighbors. It would be fully electric, radical styling inspired by the hyperpunk study. You get about 250 to 300 mile of range from the subcompact model, dual battery options. Nissan is determined to push forward into the future of electric vehicles. They're in a bit of a trouble right now financially, so not sure if this push towards electrification only is a good idea for Nissan at the moment, because as we know, we're still in the transition period from internal combustion engines to EVs for the masses. People are still not entirely used to EVs, and they're still buying a lot of internal combustion engines. So honestly, I'm not sure if this is a great idea. So it draws inspiration from the hyperpunk concept from 2023 Japan Mobility Show. It shapes futuristic lighting elements, while the production Juke will be toned down, of course, from the show cars extremes. No scissor doors, for example. That would be very cool to have in a Juke. It retains its striking love it or hate it characters. I'm gonna let you know which team I'm on here, if I love this or if I hate this. When we jump into Photoshop, you have tri-element DRLs, angular contrasting cladding, and hidden rear door handles like we had on the original Juke. So while no official photos of the cabin have been released yet, reports suggest a more spacious and refined interior with improved materials, cargo space, and overall build quality. I can't really remember if the old Juke was, felt nice in the interior. I can't even remember what the interior looked like, to be honest. So design-wise, the cabin may draw inspiration from the tech-focused cockpit of the hyperpunk concept, featuring a deeply sculpted dashboard and a wrap-around center console. So that is what we're getting in Nissan moving forward as well. Just a bunch of screens everywhere, and yeah, that's about it. On the technology front, the Juke EV should receive Nissan's latest infotainment system, possibly an evolution of the interface used in the larger Aria EV, which also has a bunch of screens in it. So I think that is what we're going to see in the new Juke as well. So unlike the outgoing model, the next Juke will be purely electrified. Confirmed details are still under wraps, but industry insiders suggest it could offer 63 kilowatt hours to 87 kilowatt hour battery packs, similar to the Arias, translating to roughly 250 to 300 miles of range, which seems to be the standard these days. Nissan may also try to keep costs down by utilizing a smaller pack in the 40 to 55 kilowatt hour range. I don't think that's a good idea. Maybe it is for people who know that they're just commuting back and forth to work every day a few miles. But that, you would just have to charge it all the time if you have too small of a battery pack. In either case, the standard Juke EV will likely come with a front-wheel drive, single-motor setup, 120 to 150 horsepower. It's not going to be a beast of a machine, this thing. For those craving more power, you do probably have a dual-motor all-wheel drive version could be on offer, likely in a higher output Nismo variant. We do have an Aria Nismo in Japan. Nismo to me as an EV is kind of strange, but the styling for the Aria Nismo, I think it looks very, very nice. And here you have this spy photo, or not spy photo, but teaser image. Looking at the shoulder line here, what is going on? The front shoulder or this area is the exact height as the back area, and you clearly have the EV proportions, which look so weird to me to have this huge wheelbase. As you can see, this rear axle sits so far out. I just want to push it in a little bit, but that will intrude on the interior space. I've never been a fan of these EV proportions at all. It's not pleasing to look at when you have this type of wheelbase and a very short overhang in the rear. So the current Juke will continue to be sold alongside the EV for a while, but the official reveal of the new Juke is expected later this year. And here we have this rendering from CarScoops. Looks a little bit better when you can actually see the lines. The proportions are still a little weird. Front end, very bulky front end here, sits very high up. Learn design sketching online with me. My online class is now only $47. If you have any desire to pick up the skill of sketching products using simple tools such as just a big pen and some cheap print paper, this is something you want to check out. Now, over the years, I've taught over thousands of students from all around the world how to sketch cars and products using my simple sketching techniques, and most of them have seen amazing results from my classes. Analog Designer Pro Pack is the full bundle of all my classes I've released over the years, and it's yours for just $47. You also have a lifetime access to all the videos. Check out everything that's included and see what my students have to say in the link in the description, or simply visit analogdesignerpropack.com. The old Juke, definitely a hate it or love it car design. Let me know what you think about the old Juke. Are you a fan of it, or do you just think it's one of the ugliest cars ever made? Let me know in the comments. But looking at this Juke, for me personally, I think it's a cool design because this was a design that we hadn't seen before. Look at the rounded feel that we have here. We have also round, big fenders, like bulging fenders in the rear and the front. We have this line in the lower section. We have the GTR roof line, meaning that we have a very sharp corner where the A-pillar meets the roof. We have the hidden door handles in the back as well. This might have been one of the first cars to have proper, bumper headlights, because it doesn't get more bumper headlights than this. We have the headlight unit right down here in the lower section, and we have the daytime run lights sitting up here like a bug, like bug eyes up on the hood. That's what I always thought about when I saw this design. And look at how the headlights housing intrudes and just pushes in here to the grille. It's a very unique design. Not the prettiest, not the most beautiful. It's not the car that I want to have on a turntable and, appreciate the design of it. Not that type of vehicle. But for what they tried to do, something unique, I think it looks pretty cool. Now, looking at the new one here, I think you can clearly still see that this is a Juke. If we remove the logo in the front, this to me would look like a Juke because we still have the big massive volumes in the front end. Look at how big the hood is and how high up it sticks up. And then you have the shoulder line in the back. You have the hidden door handle for the passenger side. But what's going on with the line flow here? If you want to study a line flow, I don't know if this is a good, example of that, because if we draw out all these lines that we have going on in this vehicle, I don't think a single one of them has a connection to any other lines. It's just a bunch of lines, like origami going on here. We still have the GTR roofline style here, the 350Z with the very sharp corner up top. So it's very much lower than it did in the original Juke, but we still have the same volumes. We still have the same proportions. And looking at the headlight unit here, a very chiseled looking outline for the headlights, which feels to be in line with the rest of the styling here. And then you also still have these bug eyes on top of the hood, which looks like they go into the hood itself. I'm not sure how this opening of the hood is gonna, function when you have the lights up top there. You also have this intake in the front end that also reminds me a lot of the original Juke by having this massive mouth in the front, similar to what we had here in the original with all these holes down here. Again, very unique styling. Not sure what they implemented these circular elements in the lower section there, but that's what we get. The wheel and tire setup, wheels look decent. They look like typical EV wheels, but the proportions here is what I don't like about EVs like this. The rear axles sit way too far back. The first car that I really noticed this with is the Ioniq 5. I just want to move the rear axle forward a couple of inches to just fix the proportions of that vehicle. We also have that in the new Chevy Equinox EV, also has this very, very strange EV proportions. Now, looking at the concept down here, you can see the inspiration from the production vehicle up top. Even though this is a rendering, I do believe this is exactly, I mean, very close to what the production is going to look like. And if we look at the concept here, obviously, Nissan is not going to be able to put this type of beast of a line flow styling into production. It just would not work. You can't even see the door here, and this looks to be a coupe, so a two-door version. You have the daytime run lights right here, as you can see. Very, very out there concept for sure. Now, I made a redesign of the original Juke way back, maybe in 2019 or something like that. I just want to quickly show you this because this was a very fun redesign. And I just wanted to make it a little bit more modern, obviously. So add some LEDs. You see these LEDs here. I like these LEDs because what they remind me of is the 370Z LEDs, but I wanted to implement it a little better in the overall shape of the window. So I just made a simple LED right here, as you can see, that goes into the trunk, some line flow here. And also the shoulder line, instead of having this curvature that we have here on the original, I just wanted to have it go straight into the doors like this. So we have a straight shoulder line, and then it dips, and guess what? It creates a separation for the bumper in the lower section. Nice little diffuser in the lower section here as well. Nothing too crazy. Just cut out this portion of the original and make this body color right here. And last but not least, we of course need to switch out the wheels. I also changed this line at the lower section, as you can see, to have it be a little bit more pronounced, a little more upswing in the rear end right there. Fun redesign. And it's going to be interesting to see this new Nissan Juke, if they're actually going to put that origami design into production. It's going to be definitely, again, they're not going to disappoint people who want a unique design, because that's going to be one of the most unique EV designs out there when it comes out next year.